Welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs. Again, my name is Jeffrey Davis. I'm the host of Radio Entrepreneurs, and we have been streaming our stories and in studio, out of studio streaming. It all depends on what's gone on in the economy for over 7 years. Over 1 million people connected to us. We hope you've connected to us on Radio Entrepreneurs because our stories are always relevant to what's going on in entrepreneurship. And we have a reoccurring guest that my partner from Mage interviewed, Jonathan Friedman, Gianluca, CEO of XSurgical. Welcome back, Jean.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thank you. Tell us about XSurgical and what's going on.
Well, trying to get started back after the COVID, which has been scrambling all our plans. You know, we were just discussing about how plans change suddenly. We left actually your public last time saying that we were starting the Series A fundraise, and then COVID came like a few weeks later, like 3-4 weeks later, and so we suspended everything, and now we are back. We have our investment banker following us, and we are about to start a crowdfunding campaign with Start Engine. That's pretty much what is happening from the fundraise point of view. From the development point of view, at that time when we had our last meeting, we didn't have a working prototype. We were working on it, and now we finally have. And back in December, we even had our first demonstration of total knee replacement procedure executed with our robot and with the surgeon that was operating remotely from Milan.
Wow. Again, how would this product be used?
Well, the idea is to try to answer to a very important flaw of surgical robotics, which is that surgical robotics is today non-cost effective, which means that all the existing products on the market, they are focused on a very few type of procedures. And that is a very important, important characteristic, because if you don't have enough patients to undergo that very specific type of procedures, you cannot afford a robot. So for big hospitals that have big volumes of, different type of procedures, it's feasible. But in medium, small size hospitals, which are pretty much 10 times more, there's no possibility, because you will have the robot sitting in the operating room doing nothing most of the time. So we decided to try to answer to this kind of open issue of the surgical robotics, designing a surgical robot that is more designed as a platform for developing more and more types of procedures. It's, in matter of fact, more like a universal surgical robot. So there are, as you can see in background, in my background, there are 4 manipulators, and there is a very fancy bed that can move and can somehow position the patient in different ways. And so the idea is that if you can have more type of procedures, you can most likely have more patients. So the first answer to that issue is to make like universal design. The second way to do that is to create a system that is not closed like all the other products, which means that who is developing the robot owns everything, and no one can touch a screw on the robot. Our system is instead an open platform, which means that we seek collaboration with third parties that can implement their own procedures for our platform, so that we can try to crowdsource the number of procedures and increase the number of procedures as fast as possible. And on the market, there are a lot of small companies in the medical field that are built around one single patent, and they're the best in class for that specific procedure. So the entire company is built around one type of procedure, and they cannot transition to surgical robotics, because otherwise they will have to build a robot that does only one type of procedure, and that is a limit that they have. So we offer them an opportunity. They have a platform. We offer them a development kit for our system, so that they can implement their own procedure on our system, so readapt the surgical instruments and the protocol for our system and make it even possible remotely. Our system is by design a remotely operated robot, which also includes the possibility to have a tutor or a second surgeon that can take over a certain point during the procedure. So we offered that opportunity. And the third way we decided to address that issue of the non-being cost effective is to create a system that is more flexible and optimized for mobile settings, such as container operating rooms or track trailers operating room, because that can even bring the surgical robot to even smaller hospitals. Because today there is a new model that is coming, that is growing, which is the shareable operating rooms. So there are track trailers which are all furnished with the best equipment, and they are shared between multiple small hospitals in certain districts, and they can essentially rent per use a small operating room with a surgical robot. So our system is designed to work in this kind of environment, so it doesn't require an entire operating room built around the robot, but does very flexible requirements in terms of power consumption and connectivity. And that makes the system also very suitable for war zone scenarios or disaster recovery. If there is like an earthquake, something, then there is possibility to deploy this kind of units with the surgical robot. You can have mostly paramedics in the area, and then you can have most of the surgeons in their own hospitals performing the procedures remotely. And being able to perform not only laparoscopy like the Da Vinci, this is a system that can perform also open surgery and orthopedics surgery. So you can essentially use this for trauma response. So you can use this, for example, for plastic surgery on site. If you have like an injury on the face or on the hands, feet, nerves, genitals, all very delicate area of our body in the outside. So that makes the system very interesting for those kind of environments as well.
Well, I'm just wondering if this is a big challenge. You say there's small businesses, but are you competing with some very large multinational corporations to try to get into this field?
To be honest, only partially. Well, the only existing real product in the field is Intuitive with their Da Vinci's robot only for the laparoscopy. But like I said, we overlap only partially because, yeah, we do the laparoscopy, but it's only one of the things we do. For the orthopedics, we overlap with other products, which are mostly smaller companies. And for open surgery, there's nothing actually out there. So we create a bigger market and with more consumer, and plus we expand further the market, because having an open architecture system on top of the classical revenue models, which is the sale of the robot, the service maintenance, the disposable parts, et cetera, we also have royalties from the sales of the third parties that want to sell for our platform. So it's slightly in competition, but not heavily like everybody else. Like everybody's competing for the same slice of that cake. We are trying to look at a much bigger slice.
So how are you selling the product now? Are you selling direct or your own sales force?
We are not selling. We are now at the end of the development of our prototype of the third generation of the robot. And we are seeking funds now to convert our prototype in the final design of the system. So we expect to be on the market within, I think, 18 months for the military market, where there are no requirements for FDA approval, and pretty much 3 years for the civilian market, because we will have to undergo the FDA.
Interesting. And we're speaking with Gianluca of XSurgical, CEO, also as a result of a referral to us at Radio Entrepreneurs from Jim Farrell at PR First. Gianluca, if somebody wants to get hold of you, learn a little bit more about the company, how would they find you?
Well, they can, the first thing they can do is to just reach our website, which is XSurgicalRobotics.com. And pretty soon they will really be available everywhere on the social, the advertising of Start Engine for our crowdfunding campaign. Plus, they can Google, and there are a lot of videos and articles. We've been followed by the media pretty closely, so they'll be able to find a lot of info and through the website get in touch with us.
I want to thank you for being on Radio Entrepreneurs a second time. We hope you come back again. It's very exciting technology. During previous surgical procedures for myself, I had to look into robotics. I know they've come a long way, and thank you to people like you for that. So I'll remind everybody, this is Radio Entrepreneurs.